Hi, I'm Ryan with Michigan Truck Spring, truckspring.com. Today I want to talk to you about how to measure U-bolts and why it's important to replace them when changing your leaf springs. Rust and corrosion may weaken the material, and in some cases it may be required to cut the U-bolts off. The threads can be deformed from the original torque, and they will not hold torque again if attempting to reuse. Replacing U-bolts when changing your leaf springs will ensure that the installation goes smoothly and the installation is done safely. There are two steps to measuring U-bolts. The first is identifying the bend, and the second is taking the actual measurements. The three most common types of bends are a round, a square, and a semi-round. Notice the subtle difference between a square bend and a semi-round bend. There are three measurements that need to be taken. The first is the inner dimension. This measures at 2.5 inches. Next is the length. That's measured from the inside of the bend to the end. This measures at 9.5 inches. And the diameter of the material. This measures at 9/16. An easy trick to determining the diameter of your material is to use a wrench and place it over the threads. A 9/16 wrench will fit snugly around a 9/16 material. A 5/8 will be loose. When upgrading to a heavy-duty leaf spring, additional thread may be required, so noting the amount of thread sticking through the nut is important to ensure we get a U-bolt with the appropriate length. Many popular bends and lengths are available in kit form on our website. A kit will include 2 U-bolts, 4 washers, and 4 nuts, enough to do 1 spring. We also carry heavy-duty U-bolts up to 1.25 inch diameter, as well as some of these less common forged top U-bolts. Here we have a square and a round forged top. Measuring U-bolts that are still installed on a vehicle can be easy as long as you can get underneath of it. This truck is using a square bent U-bolt that wraps around the top of the spring and comes down to the axle where there's a plate. To measure the length of the U-bolt, you'll go from where the U-bolt contacts the spring at the top to the bottom of the threads. This is about 10.5 inches. On the inside, you'll measure here from the inside to the inside. This measures at about 3 1/8, and the diameter of the material. You want to measure this across the threads. This is measuring at about 3/4. You also want to know how much thread is sticking out of the U-bolt in case you're going to move to a heavy-duty spring pack. If you're unsure on the diameter, you can also use the wrench trick by holding the wrench over the threads. This is a 3/4, which matches what we measured already. When installing new U-bolts, you want to torque them in a crisscross pattern to ensure that everything is seated properly. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you now have a better understanding of how to measure U-bolts, as well as the safety and importance behind changing them when replacing your leaf springs.